ऑलरेडी चैप्टर पूरा अपलोड हो गया था सर इसीलिए। हाँ ओके सर राइट। चलो मैडम लेट अस स्टार्ट द क्लास. Linear programming, I think theory I've explained, steps and all, we have to do the problems. First we will solve basic problems, then primal dual problems, then simplex problem, sorry, graphical, and then simplex. Illustration number 1. A shopkeeper deals in how many items? 2 items. Wall hangings and artificial plants. So here we have, this is linear programming problems. Question number 1. Once syllabus is completed, this entire file I'll merge and send it to you. So we have what are those? Wall hangings. And second one is artificial plants. Wall hanging and artificial plant. Now you tell, wall hangings and artificial plants are physical quantities. These physical quantities, can they be 0 or greater than 0? They can be 0 also, greater than 0 also. But can they be negative? No, right? So can I write these as, I will write these as what? Non-negativity constraints. Any physical unit can never be what? Negative. He has 50,000 to invest and a space to store how many pieces at the most? 100 pieces at the most. So what is, how many limitations are there? 2 limitations. What is limitation number 1? Investment. What is the maximum I can invest? 50,000, right? Next. And they are telling what is the maximum I can store? 100. These are what? Constraints. These are constraints. Cost of wall hanging an artificial plant is how much? 450 and 200 each. Here, cost is 450 and 200 each. Can sell a wall hanging for a profit of how much? 80. An artificial plant, what is the profit? 37. Assuming that he can sell all the items that he buys. Formulate what? Linear programming problem in order to maximize his profit. So this is just a formulation problem. Question is, at the time of formulation of a problem, we divide the formulation into how many steps? 3 steps. Can you tell what they are? First, what we write? Objective function. Then what do we write? And then what do we write? Non-negativity function. So here, can you tell me what are the constraints here? What are the constraints here? Cost and no, profit is not a constraint. Profit is objective function, right? See, cost is also given, and what? So what is the second thing they have given? Profit. Cost is also given, profit is also given. So they are asking us what? Maximization of profit. So maximization means objective only, right? So here I'll write how much is the cost. Cost is how much? 450 for wall hanging, 200 for artificial plant, and what is the invest I can do? 50,000. Then they also told us all classes or only my class. And this is the only place I'm facing this problem. Entire day, never I faced anywhere. Hmm. Hmm. So cost is 450 and 200, and investment I can do maximum is, and now profit. Profit from wall hanging they told 80, and from artificial plant it is 37. And they are telling that what is the maximum number of wall hangings plus artificial plant put together I can store? 100. Storage is 100. So using this, we have to write what? LPP. First, what will be there? Objective function. Now you tell. Objective function should be what? Maximization or minimization? Maximization. And I will represent it at what? Maximize Z is equals to. Acha, you tell me. This is profit per unit of wall hanging. This is profit per unit of artificial plant. Okay. I am assuming that number of units of wall hanging are x1. I will assume number of units of artificial plant to be x2. Can I assume it to be A and B? Yes. X and Y, anything. Acha. If I sell 1 unit of wall hanging, what is my profit? If I sell 1 unit, what is my profit? 10 units if I sell. How 100 units if I sell. But how many I'm selling? X1, right? So my profit will be 80 x1 plus 37 x2. Understood? Number of units will not be given. We should assume it to be x1, x2, xy, a, b, anything. Next, after writing objective function, then we write constraints. In constraints, always remember, my objective is what? Maximization of profit. My objective is what? Maximization of profit. But problem, resources are limited or unlimited? That is why this objective is subject to some constraints. What are those constraints? What are those constraints? Cost. What is the maximum I can invest to? So it is 450 in what? X1 plus 200 in X2 subject to maximum amount. But this is maximum or minimum? Nothing they told. Question may they have not mentioned. In that case, you remember one thing always. In maximization problem, all constraints will show less than or equal to symbol. In minimization problem, all the constraints will show greater than or equal to symbol. That should be very clear. So now you tell this 50,000, by how should I write? Less than or equal to or greater than or equal to? Less than or equal to 50,000. But sometimes what happens, due to problem only, you may get like this. Due to some problem, not your mistake. Due the question itself, you may get like this. In maximization, you may get greater than symbol. That is because of your mistake or question. Then what to do? You have to convert greater than symbol into less than. How do you convert? Idea? You just have to multiply this entire equation with minus. In that case, what will happen? Minus 450 x1 minus 200 x2 is greater than or equal to minus. So greater than symbol ko you want to convert into less than, or less than symbol you want to convert into greater than. Entire equation you have to multiply with what? Minus sign. So remember like this, anytime maximization problem mein what happens? All symbol should be less than or equal to. In minimization symbol, all problems should be greater than or equal to. This is constraint number 1. And that fellow told us that maximum how much I can store? What? Wall hangings plus number of units of wall hanging plus number of units of I can store less than or equal to 100. Understood? Then we will write what? Non-negativity function. Now, how do I write non-negativity function? X1, comma x2 is greater than or equal to 0. Understood? Simple. Next, Question number two, I will solve after I finish simplex and graphical. It is related to that. Now question number three, graphical method. Like in the formulation, one problem only we have. Now all problems are graphical and simplex only. Now listen very carefully. One kind of cake requires 200 grams of flour and 25 grams of fat. Fat matlab wo butter, ghee and all. And another kind of cake requires 100 grams of flour and 50 grams of flour. So two cakes I will assume. Cake A, cake A, cake B. Correct? Now what are the two constraints here? Flour and fat. Flour and fat. Here 200 grams of flour and 25 grams of fat. And cake B requires 100 grams of flour and 50 grams of flour. Fat. Next, find the maximum number of cakes that can be made using how many kgs? 500 kgs of flour. So availability is how much? 5000 kgs of flour and 1 kg of fat. 1 kg of fat. But remember, everything is given in grams, but fat is given in kgs. I cannot do like this. Either convert everything into kgs or convert everything into grams. Now, converting one thing is easy or everything? So 1 kg ko we will convert into grams. How many grams? I'll write it as 1000 grams. Otherwise, your answer will be completely different. Next. There is no shortage of other ingredients. Formulate LPP based on what? Information given and solve graphically. If it is given graphically, we will solve. If it is given simplex, we will solve. If nothing is mentioned, then up to 3 constraints are there. Better go for graphical. Greater than 3 constraints are there. Better go for simplex. Clear? Now, step number 1, formulation. Step number 1, formulation. Step number 2 will be solution. Again, in solution, multiple steps will be there. One by one, I will write sequentially. Formulation में what is our objective here? Maximization or minimization? Formulate LPP based on information. Find maximum number of cakes. So here our objective is, let us assume number of units of cake A is what? X1. Let us assume number of units of cake B is X2. If you don't write like this, they will not give you marks. You directly write like this, they won't give you marks. Clear? You have to write clearly. Now, so what is our objective? Maximize Z is equals to what? They have not given us anything, right? Number of cakes. So X1 plus X2 subject to constraints. What are the constraints? 200 X1 plus 100 X2. 200 X1 plus 100 X2. Now tell which symbol should I use? Less than or equal to 5000. Next to 25 X1 plus 50 X2 is less than or equal to 1000. X1 comma X2 is greater than or equal to. This is step number 1, formulation. Now step number 2 will be solution. Step number 2 will be solution. Now, whenever we are solving any problem in linear programming, first thing what you have to do is you have to convert inequalities into equalities. Anyone has done these type of problems before? No? Okay. I'll write sequentially proper steps I will write. Any problem on graphical method comes, same steps as it is you follow. So solution mein what is the first thing? Convert what? Inequalities into equalities. Now, in graphical method, to convert inequalities into equalities, we consider constraints. We consider what? Constraints. These constraints are given, right? How many constraints? Two equations are there, right? These equations you have to see. Simplex method mein we consider everything. When we are solving as per simplex method, everything written here we take care. But in graphical method, only constraint equation is required for us. So here, equation 1, equation 2. What is the first equation? 200x1 plus 100x2. Now, should I write less than or equal to 5,000 or equal to 5,000? Equal to 5,000. This is the first equation. Then here we have 25x1 plus 50x2 is equal to 1,000. Simplex method में lot of calculations will be there to convert inequalities into equalities. But in graphical method, we convert inequalities into equalities just by writing equals to. Now, these points ko I have to plot on a graph. But to plot on a graph, we need to calculate points. Now, first we will assume, I will assume x1 to be 0 and calculate the value of x2. And then we will assume x2 to be 0 and find out the value of x1. Assume x1 is 0. Then it will be 0 plus 100 x2 is equals to 5000. Then x2 will be 50. Next, now I will assume what? Assume x2 to be 0. Then it will be 200 x1 is equals to 5000 and x1 will be 25. Understood how to calculate? Now same thing we will do for equation 2. Assume x1 to be 0, then it will be 50 x2 is equals to 1000. X2 will be how much? 20. Assume x2 to be 0, then 25x1 is equals to 1000 and x1 will be what? Clear? Now I'll just write the points like this. For easy reference, I'm writing in box x1, x2, x1, x2. Correct? First, we have assumed x1 to be 0. If x1 is 0, what is the value of x2? 50. Then, if x2 is 0, what is the value of x1? Understood? Now, again, same. If x1 is 0, what is the value of x2? 20. And if x2 is 0, what is the value of x1? 40. Understood? So, till here, you note down. Then I will start drawing the graph. Should I scroll? Done up till x1, x2 greater than 0. First problem done. Should I scroll little? आज costing नहीं हुआ क्या class SCM? SCM was there today. Arey, you could have told I would have started by 1:45 only. Acha, tax up to? Okay. Should I scroll little? Done? Okay. So now let us continue. Understood? Step number one is what? Formulation. Step number two is solution. In solution, first what we have to do? Convert inequalities into equalities. Now, after converting inequalities into equalities, now we have to plot this on a graph. Now, point B will be plot graph. Plot graph. Now, check the question and tell me what is the minimum amount? What is the minimum amount? 0, right? In case of x1, it goes up to x1 में 0 and maximum is no x1 maximum 40 and x2 maximum 50. So we will take like this. We can take. I'll draw over here. So this side is x1, this side is x2. So I'll take 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And this side also same. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. Now this is 0. Now when x1 is 0, how much is x2? Check and tell. If x1 is 0, x2 is, see, x1 is 0, x2 is how much? 50. So here we have to plot. Tell me one color, blue. Two different colors I will use so that two equations, right? Intersection will become easy to identify. Here it's okay, but when you have 3 or 4 equations, different colors if you use, easy to identify. 0 and 50. And in the same equation, if x2 is 0, x1 is, I should plot here, right? So I will join these two like this. This is equation number 1. Understood? Next, in equation number 2, when x1 is 0, what is x2? 20. Okay. And if x2 is 0, x1 is 40. This is equation 2. What is that? Actually, their wire is loose. So understood how to plot the graph. Now after this, now here the main game starts. This maximization problem may now we have to find out something called feasible region. Once we draw a graph, find out which region? Feasible region. For a maximization problem, feasible region will be the lowest point. For minimization problem, tension in minimization problem may outer layer will be called as feasible region. This layer is called as like this, opposite. For maximization problem, it will be inside. For minimization problem, it will be outside. If I select this as the outside region, it means it is which problem? But now we need outermost layer or innermost layer. This is the innermost layer, right? This quadrilateral. This will be considered as what? Feasible region. This will be considered as feasible region. These points are considered as, just highlight like this. So this is point A, B, C, D. Correct? Quadrilateral mein up to 5 points you can get. Here we are having only 2 equations, right? But if you have more than 2 equations, we may get multiple points. So here at A, you tell me x1 is 0, x2 is 0, right? At point A, x1 is 0, x2 is also 0. At point B, x1 is, no, not x1, x2 is 0. This is x1 ka point, right? At this point, here B is which line? X1, right? X1's value is, but x2's value is 0. X1 is 25, x2 is 0. Next, at point D, x1 is 0, x2 is 20. But we need to find at what? Point C. At point C, we have no idea what is the value of x, what is the value of y. Now what we have to do? Solve the equations. Equation 1 and equation 2, if you solve, we will get the value of x1 and x2 at point C. Now, now see, point C is an intersection between what are the two equations? If there are 3 or 4 equations like this, you have to find out. Point C pe intersection point is there, right? Blue color line, black color line. Blue color represents and black color represents. Like this you identify. Because if more than one line is there on the graph, it becomes difficult. Clear? So we have that type of problems also, maybe in next class. So at point C, two equations we have to solve. Can you tell me equation number 1? 200 x1 plus 100 is equals to 5000. And second equation? Hmm? 50 x2. So I'll multiply second equation with 2. Multiply with 2. In that case, I will get 200 x1 plus 100 x2 is equals to 5000. And here it will be 50 x1 plus 100 x2 is equals to 2000. This is gone. So it will be 150 x1 is equals to 3000. Then x1 will be how much? X1 will be 20. Now insert x1 is equals to 20 in equation 1. You can insert in equation 2 also. You'll get the same answer. So it will be 200 into x1. How much we got x1? 20 plus 100 x2 is equals to 5000. So here it will be how much? 4000 plus 100 x2 is equals to 5000. Then x2 will be 10. X2 will be 10. Understood how to solve? So at point C, x1 value is 20 and here it is 10. Clear? Note down till here. Should I scroll? Graph done. Done graph. Done. Should we continue? Now, so how many points will come? 4 to 100% it will come. Imagine if one more intersection is there, three equations are there, then maybe some one more extra point we may get. I'll continue next to. Next, simple, right? Every graphical problem is same step you have to follow. Now what we have to do? Nothing else. Point number C is, step number C is mac objective. What is the objective of a business? Maximize, maximize x1 plus x2. अरे यार, क्या दिमाग खराब है. Maximize what? X1, x2. Now see, at point A, what is the value of x1? 0. And what is the value of x2? 0. So what will be my maximum profit? 0. At point B, what is the value of x1? 25. And x2? 0. So what is the total? 25. Profit will be how much? 25. At point C, how much? 20 plus 10, how much? 30. At point D, 0 plus 20. 0 plus 20. Now tell how many units of product X1 I should sell? 20. And how many units of X2 I should sell? 10. Then my profit will be maximum. Our objective is what? Maximization of profit, right? So how many units, how much X1 should I sell? 20. How much X2 should I sell? Then my profit will be maximum. Ante. So what will be our answer? X1 should be 20, X2 should be 10. With this, graphical problem will be over. Done? The next problem we'll do in next class. We have which problem? This problem completed. This is the solution. 20 units of X1, 10 units of X2. Your answer will complete here. What did they get to? Maximum profit will be 30. 20 for cakes and 10 for what is the other one? Acha, KK and KB. Question number 4 is also graphical. Question number 5 also graphical. So tomorrow these two problems. Tomorrow I think holiday. We'll meet again in Saturday's class. Don't try other problems. One is minimization and the other is ISO cost method that I will only discuss in class.